Um, I'll just work hard, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
driving factor for that, man? Like, what makes you want to go so hard?
Right now, I pay for my parents' mortgage and I pay for my own place here. And then I'm trying to create a future for myself, right? I've come a long way in terms of the human experience, not like status wise or anything. Just like a lot of people say I started with nothing. I like to say I started from negatives
Hmm.
because my parents were very abusive, physical, oh, we're gonna slice your throat, go live in the streets like a dog type shit. So a lot of trauma, but I didn't have any help. They couldn't help me with like my math homework. Now, I make them sound like the bad people, but they're good people. They're just like the worst parents. Long
Hmm.
story short, they had to leave their country when they were 15, refugee camp, no English, no money. They came here to Canada. Yeah, I was born in the Myrtle capital. I got jumped like twice a month at least. So negatives, right? Like, okay, parent trauma, not safe at home. Go to school, not safe out in the streets. Learn how to survive on my own. So the human experience is what I'm saying. And then as soon as I moved here on my own 5 years ago, finally got a career. I have a little bit of breathing room. It was a really abnormal experience, kind of like walking around, not getting mugged. That 5 years kind of made me settle in, and I'm like, okay, this is where most people start. When they're born, they're like, this is where they start. They have no debt, they have no trauma, they can actually make something of their life. I really understand that I'm at neutral now, right? I'm not like in survival mode. So when I found that, it's just like, okay, I just tap into what I did when I was ever since I was like 5. When I was 5, my mom beat me with the back of a cleaver, and that's kind of like what traumatized me because I didn't understand like the front or the back. I just thought I was getting chopped up. So I pay for my parents' mortgage. I understand like their sacrifices that they made. That was kind of through me. When I moved here, I could have just chose to cut them off. For me, the human experience is the best revenge is not to be like them. Everything that they did to me, they just taught me how not to be. So I
Yeah.
support them financially and stuff like that, and that's just my choice. That's not like they asked me to support them.
Killing people with kindness.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they're my parents. So, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I ran away from home when I was 15. I tried to take my life, didn't work. And I was like, all right, now what, right? Because I just like, I'm not dead. But I realized it was hard to live when you don't have a house and you don't have food. So I went back, live with my parents. It's all stoicism from there. This is how I'm paying for rent. I'm going to stay in this toxic household and the rent is abuse. And that's just how I saw it. Like, okay, well, I'm not paying money to stay here. They're feeding me, right? I mean, sometimes it was like rice, but like they're feeding me regardless. And I just used what I had. So I had a roof, I had a bed, I had food, and then I just grinded. And that's why I go so hard. That's all I have.